Hey everybody, it's Peter from Brantford Kia, and this is the 2020 Kia Telluride EX. Now this is our entry-level model here in Canada, but we don't really have entry-level models, and I'm going to tell you all about that in this full walk-around review. So first of all, let's just start off. Yes, we are in Canada. There are some differences in our vehicles. For instance, our base model here in Canada is a higher trim level than the base model in the States, but we also have some off-road features and some other features that you don't have in the States. So keep watching and you'll see some of the differences that we have and a lot of the similarities as well. Let's go take a look at the front to start. All right, so when we talk about entry-level models here with Kia, especially Kia in Canada, we really don't have entry-level models. Now, the weird thing for us was with the Telluride, it was told to us that this was going to be a premium vehicle. So we kind of wondered where that entry-level model would fit in. Would it drop in below the Sorento? How would it fit? How would it feel? And the reality is, when we first heard about this car, they called it the EX Premium. They wanted to emphasize that premium aspect of it. Now, it looks like they've dropped that premium tag and just called it the EX, but you really do have a premium feel with this car. So let's talk about some of those premium features. The grille here is a little bit different than the SX model that we've already done a video on. We have not at this point seen an SX Limited model. In Canada, the SX Limited is the only way to get a 7-passenger vehicle. So this is still the EX, we've only seen the SX, and the grille here is a sort of a gunmetal gray color and instead of the chrome color. But you still do have the Telluride writing up here, which again is something they could have dropped on a lower level model. They didn't. You still have the distinctive LED lights here. Of course, they flicker for you on the camera. In real life, they don't flicker at all. Those are LED lights. We also have LED headlights, LED headlights up here, headlights and high beams, and we have LED fog lights down here, which I haven't turned on. So again, base level Telluride, not at all base level car. Really competes well within the segment. You also have the same engine, same transmission, same fuel economy numbers as all the other Tellurides that we have. So what you end up getting is a slightly different look on the wheels out front. You have 18-inch wheels. Now these are big 18-inch wheels. They are 245, I believe. Yeah, 245 60R18 wheels. And because those wheels are so big, they actually look a little bit small. So you got a lot of rubber here. And if you're going to be doing any off-roading, if you're going to be going down those country roads, these are probably the wheels you want anyways. A little bit more sidewall, and this car is really capable off-road. It's won awards even in Texas, which of course is a very, US centered, made in America kind of place. And of course this car is made in America, but this car is really designed for the North American market, and it's just doing really, really well. So again, a lot of those premium features all built in. We're going to get to the interior features in a couple minutes here and tell you about how it's still premium on the inside, but just the general overall look, still a very premium feel from the front. Let's look at the back side. We'll work our way to the rear seats and the driver's seat. Okay, so the rear of the Telluride, what have we got? Well, first of all, we still got a spoiler up here. You'll notice little styling details as well as aerodynamic details. A bit of a spoiler off the side here. The lights themselves also have a sharp cutoff. All of that helps with aerodynamics, helps keep the car quiet, helps have the car give the car a sharp cutoff in the wind, helps with the coefficient of drag is what they call it. Basically, aerodynamics is what that's all about. You still have a large rear window, big rear window that you can see out of nice and clearly. You still have the Telluride written across the back here, just like on the front. You have an all-wheel drive badge, which still has plastic on it. Let's rip that off for the video. All right, all-wheel drive badge there, and an EX V6 badge here in Canada. So you have that here. Here's where the differences start. Down here, this panel here, a little bit different than the SX, a little bit different color, and you don't have a visible exhaust point here. So on the SX model, you have those big square exhausts. You don't have that here. It's still just underneath there. You can find it if you just look under, but you don't have that bigger, stylish, sort of the jewelry look to it. Now, speaking of jewelry, I always talk about the lights on the cars as sort of being jewelry. These ones are not the LED lights. You only get those on the SX Limited. The front has full LED, the rear does not, but they are a very designed look to them. So you see a nice sort of artistic design when they're on. We're going to do a video of this car at night. We'll probably wait till we get the SX Limited model. We've done a Stinger at night video, and that just gives you a sense of what they look like at night. But you still have that sort of reverse hockey stick look here. You've also got your signal lights down here. So these aren't just reflectors down there. They are signal lights, and it's right in the same area. So you give that big, bold, square look. Basically the same as the SX Limit or the SX model we've shown you, but like I said, no exhaust, little different color here, and then again, very similar from there. Popping it open, you still have a powered tailgate. Now, of course, that could be a smart tailgate. We could just approach it, not touch it, and it could open up. Inside, what do you have? It's a 7-row passenger car, so you still have seats fairly close to the back, but not that close. My entire arm, well past my elbow, comes out here. You've got lots of room there. You also have significant underfloor storage down here, so that's handy. What about putting the seats down? You can do that. Pull the lever, drop them down, nice big flat floor. So here's a couple things you should know about the cargo area. You do have a 12-volt point back here. You do have cargo tie-downs down here. The seats here do fold flat, so if you're looking for a flat loading floor when the seats are down, you'll have that. You can fold the middle row seats down with the buttons right here, and you can also put cargo nets in here, and like I said, tie downs. There's tie downs up here, down here. If you have rear seat passengers, they have cup holders down here. They also have USB ports in the wall, so your 3rd row passengers, the outboard passengers for sure, have USB ports to charge their devices. We'll talk about that in the middle row seat when we work our way up there as well. Basically what you have is the largest cargo area we've ever had in an SUV. It's huge, it's big and square, it rises up here, lots of space, no problem. You can fit 3 across here. The middle row is going to be tight, just like in some cars you have a tighter middle seat, but 2 adults fit here, no problem. A 3rd one you could fit in the middle if you had to for short distances. And yes, there's enough legroom. I'm 6 feet tall. It's hard to show in this video, but I easily fit here, and we'll show you some of that flexibility when I get into the middle row seat. And we will be doing a separate video again on seating and complete seating video. We've done the same thing with our Kia Sedona. It's really helped people out to get a sense of the size of the seating area. We will be doing one of those videos soon as well. Let's work our way to the middle row seat, and then we're going to show you a lot of the tech in the driver's area. All right, the middle row seats, lots to show you here. I have the camera further back than I've ever done on any Kia. First thing I want to show you is the rear doors as well as the front doors wrap right around the bottom here. So when you're getting out of this taller vehicle, if you have sand or salt or snow, all of that stuff stays clean on here and your pants don't get dirty because of it. Let's hop in the back seat. Once you hop in, easy to get in. It's right at the same hip point as you would have. It's a nice tall vehicle. The rear seats feel like front seats in most vehicles, super comfortable. So let's talk about 3rd row space because we're in the middle row right now. First of all, I've got the seat where I need it to drive. This seat is all the way forward right there. I fit totally fine. There's tons of legroom, tons of knee room here. So even if you had to give the maximum amount of legroom to the people in the back, which you don't need to do, you still have plenty of room for a 6-footer here. I've got tons of legroom. I've got, I don't know, miles of headroom, and I can also recline this right back and be completely comfortable. Now, what if you don't have people in the very, very back row? Put this full back. I mean, I can lay down in here pretty much, and I mean, the foot room that you have between the seat and the floor gives you a lot of room to move around. It's too far back for me to actually enjoy it because I would have to be taller to need that much space. So let's talk features back here. Nice looking doors. In the doors you've got nice wood trim, you've got great looking speakers. This doesn't have the Harman Kardon speaker system, but it does have a same look to it. You have Telluride written into the speakers there. You have bottle holders in the doors, soft touch armrests with contrasting stitching. In front of the seat that I'm sitting in and in front of the passenger seat, you have the typical, pocket here that you see a lot of the time. Now there's a couple things I like about this, a couple little hidden things. First of all, the main plastic here on the back, or the main piece in the back of the seat is plastic. If you have kids like I do, that is the best material you can have because it wipes clean. Down lower, you have a leather sort of mix with the pocket, and inside that you have a little cell phone pocket, or at least that's what I'm calling it, a cell phone pocket. It'll fit the largest cell phones, no problem. But why do you need that? Well, first of all, the sides of these seats also have USB ports. So I can charge my device right on the side of the seat. I can leave it in there, it's out of my way, and I can still see it. I can access it if it lights up because of a notification. I can see that because this pocket is not opaque like the bigger pocket. You can see through. Just brilliant design. What's this little hook here for? If you have little grocery hooks or grocery bags or something, you can hook it on there and still get to it from the driver's seat. You've got cup holders right here for the rear seat passengers. You've also got cup holders in this armrest right here. You've got a regular plug, like a household plug down low, a 12-volt plug down low, and again, like I mentioned, the USB ports in the door. Holy smokes. Let's look up for a second. So this one doesn't have the dual panel sunroof, it has a single panel sunroof. So back here, no sunroof. Hey, my people can't see out the roof in the back. You gotta pay extra for that. Oh well. Right up here, you have the climate control system. That's standard on the EX. So it's an automatic climate control system just for the rear passengers. So it's not got dual zone climate control like you would have left and right on the driver's side. It's got tri-zone climate control. So you can have controls up here that allow you to set your own temperature back here, warmer, cooler, control the fan, or just set it to automatic and it can be controlled from the front as well. If you have kids that you're afraid are going to play with that, you can lock them out of that. You've got big vents here, and not just in the middle row. Those same big vents that you see on the ceiling here are also in the very back of the car, so your third row passengers also have big vents as well. So many thought out details here. It's just, I'm really impressed with it. So one thing you lose is the night shades. You have the little sunshades in the doors from the SX and above. You don't have them here. The car's still got tinted windows. I don't know if you're going to miss them that much. You have a leather seating surface that is actually synthetic leather seating. So it's not real leather, but it feels fantastic. It actually feels very, very rich. I like it quite a bit. You've got lighting in here that's LED lighting. That's a nice white lighting. So it makes the car look really rich at night. Also gives you nice bright lighting at night. One final thing. This is a little grab handle. You'll see grab handles throughout this vehicle. It makes it easier to get in and out. Again, a little bit taller vehicle. You can use that to get in and out. The rear seat on this vehicle is the best rear seat we have. Again, middle row seat. Best middle row seat we have in any vehicle. And I might even say including the Sedona. Sedona minivan has a great middle seat. I think this is better again. And again, this one is the bench seat. You can get a 7-passenger in the SX Limited in Canada. So that's the middle seat would be gone. There'll be captain's chairs back here. I don't think you lose anything by going with the bench. I think, in fact, you gain things. All right, let's move to the front seat, and we're going to talk about a lot of technology that's still in this car. All right, inside the driver's seat of the Kia Telluride is really where you see that this is in no way an entry-level vehicle. It really is a premium vehicle. So for starters, let's talk about fit and feel of everything. I've got the driver's seat where I need it. There's a ton of adjustment. You have very large seats. So again, this is designed for the American market. Even though they're large seats, they're still very comfortable for me. I'm a fairly thin guy. I do have long legs. The seats are long underneath. They are a nice perforated leather. Like we mentioned, it's not a real leather, but it feels really, really nice. Contrasting stitching here. It is a powered seat, and there is a lumbar adjustment. I think that's really important as well. Looking across the dash, you've got leather wrap steering wheel, stitching across the dash, soft touch just about everywhere. You've got the big 10.25 inch screen. We'll talk about that in a minute. You've got this wood across the dash, and the big thing I like about the wood across the dash is it's just got a bit of a textured look. Not, I wouldn't say unfinished, but it looks real, it looks rich, it looks expensive, and it looks modern. You've got a nice chrome or metallic look across the dash as well. Around the speaker surround, you do have the same metallic kind of look there. The wood goes into the door, contrasting stitching, bottle holders, and map pockets down there as well. Soft touch armrests. And the seats themselves, like I said, they feel really good. Little basics that you get. You've got little grab handles beside the driver's seat. So again, this car is very capable of going off-road. It's not a Jeep Rubicon by any means, but certainly class competitive, or more so than class competitive in the off-road ability of it. And having these sort of grab handles, especially for your passenger. The driver's got the steering wheel, but the passenger can really hold on to those handles as you get into really rougher roads. Let's talk about a difference between the Canadian and American model that I think makes a big difference. Drive modes. We've got 4 drive modes and 3 terrain modes. So our drive modes are Comfort, Eco, Sport, and Smart. And our terrain modes are Snow, Mud, and Sand. All controlled by the same button. Very easy to work, very simple to do. Just turn it, spin it, touch it. Very simple to do. And what that does is sets up the car, sets up the SUV for any kind of terrain, whether it's snow, mud, sand. And again, Comfort, Eco, Sport, and Smart. I really like the Smart mode. It really changes between drive modes there for you. We can talk about those in another video, probably in a test drive video. We'll get into those more. Now let's talk about technology features in this car. This 10.25 inch screen, we're probably going to have to do an entire video, but it is not just the big screen. It's not just a great backup camera, not just great for Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. It also has new technology. So that's where you control things like the driver talk section. So the third row passengers, if they can't hear you, or if you just don't want to have to yell to speak to them, you have a driver talk button. You can set it up on a touch of a button here, or a touch of a button on the dash, to basically use the car as an intercom. So it uses the microphone up front and the very rear speakers, and you can speak to them in a normal voice without having to yell, and they can hear what you're saying. Of course, they're facing forward, so they can yell back to you. You also have an ability to mute the stereo in the very back and keep it on in the front, and it works very, very well. I thought it would sort of sound different with only the front speakers on, but you do have a center speaker up here, speakers in the doors, tweeters in the doors. What that system does is not just give your rear seat passengers some quiet time, and I was always thinking if you had little kids, they could sleep. But let's say you have teenagers and they're listening to their own music through their ear pods, because they all have USB or earphones, whatever, because they all have the USB ports back there. They can listen to their music without having to listen to your music. You don't have to wear earphones to listen to just your music. You can put those speakers just to you. All right, let's talk basic features. We talked about the tri-zone climate control. We still have rear climate controls. dual zone up front. You can control the rear as well. Navigation is in this car. Again, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, you can use those navigation functions, or you can use factory navigation functions. Again, base level car. Cruise control, it's just not just a regular cruise control, it's a smart cruise control. Set it for 110 kilometers an hour. You can drive away at 110. As someone cuts in front of you, let's say they're going 90, the car will slow down by itself. As you clear them or they clear you, it'll speed back up to 110 kilometers an hour. So that smart cruise controls really well. It works with lane keeping assist. So lane keeping assist helps keep you centered in the lane. What does that do? It essentially steers for you, keeps it centered in the lane. A lot of people are really nervous about this feature, and they're like, oh, I wanted the ability to turn that off. And you can just tap a button and it turns itself off. But what we're finding is most of our customers really appreciate that feature. You can just sit there, you can drive, you can glance at your screen, you know you're gonna stay centered in the lane. It's just a good safety feature. It's not obtrusive. It makes perfect sense once you understand what it does. And again, so that helps you steer the car by itself. Smart Cruise can brake and accelerate by itself. Not self-driving car yet, but certainly in a base level car, a lot of great safety features. Blind spot detection, so that is a couple things. Blind spot detection, rear cross traffic alert. It's also a safe exit system. So basically blind spot detection is a radar system on the back corner of the car that sees traffic coming up behind you, beside you, wherever. Where it's used in this car is in that safe exit assist system. So what that means is, let's say you have kids in the back and you're parallel parked on the side of a road and they're about to get out of the car on the driver's side, and there's a car coming by, it will keep the doors locked. So they won't be able to jump out, open the door into traffic or into a bicycle or other things that the rear cross traffic alert system can pick up. And it'll keep that door shut till that danger passes and then let them out. That works in conjunction with the button on the door here, which works with your child locks. If you're like me, you use child locks when you have kids in the back, but you forget to turn them off for, say, your mother-in-law, and then she thinks you've locked her in the car. Well, there's a button on the door here that can allow those child locks to lock and unlock. So if you have kids in the back, you press that button. If you have adults in the back, you release that button, and the doors can open on their own. Smart system. Automatic headlights, automatic fog lights, they come on with the headlights, so that means that when it gets dark, does that automatically for you. So many safety features, so many things to talk about. We're gonna have to do other videos on this car. Let's talk about some basics. Heated seats, heated steering wheel. Pretty much, I mean, our Rio, every Forte, every Kia Niro, they all have heated seats, heated steering wheel. So it's kind of what you expect here. To get the ventilated seats, even though these are perforated seats, they're not ventilated. You'd have to step up to the SX model or above for that. You have an 8-speed transmission, automatic transmission. You can manually shift it yourself. If you want to tow with this car, that manually shifting option is good. You can tow 5,000 pounds with this car on the 8-speed transmission. Now let's talk engine size. A lot of you may be considering Sorento, Telluride, maybe upper end Sorento, this level Telluride. Engine size, this is a bigger engine, but it gets virtually the same real-world fuel economy, almost identical real-world fuel economy. And that's because this car runs the Atkinson cycle, which is a more efficient cycle, but it does give you that option to look at either car. Fuel economy is going to be the same. You just choose the one you want, or fuel economy is virtually the same. You choose the car you want. Still tows 5,000 pounds, so you're choosing the same boat or same camper as you had before. You just get your choice of which vehicle you prefer. Let's talk about little cell phone features. We mentioned the USB charging in all the outboard seating positions. You have USB ports to charge here as well, 2 up front, 1 more back in here. So you got really 3 for the front seats. You have a wireless phone charging as well. So if you have a wireless phone or a phone that charges wirelessly, you can set that in the dash right there. I don't know where else to go from here. There's a lot to talk about, but I think for now, we'll wrap up the interior part of this video. One more thing before I fully wrap it up. In Canada, you have UVO intelligence. We have an entire video on that. What is that? Well, I'm not supposed to say. It's kind of like OnStar. People know what OnStar is. I shouldn't talk about that. The difference with this is you still have the same type of function. You can hit the UVO button, you can talk to customer service people, you can use it for navigation, you can use it to contact emergency personnel, you can have an app on your cell phone that starts the car, locks the car, turns on your climate control, heated seat and steering wheel, I believe. All of those things are on that app. Great system. You have that here. The difference is you don't have the buttons on the mirror like some of our other cars. You have the buttons up top. The mirror still has the home link button so you can open your garage door. So that's one feature I kind of forgot, and now I guess we'll wrap up the video. All right, so let's wrap up. I know there are things that I didn't answer for you in this video, so that's what the comment section is below is for. Tell me what you want to know about this car. We're gonna make plenty more videos on this car. We're gonna do a test drive video of it. We're gonna answer all of your questions as best we can. Some answers will be in the comment section, some will be on another video. The other thing, the reason we do these videos is because we want to earn your business. If you're in the Greater Toronto area, if you're anywhere near Brantford, we want to earn your business as a Telluride dealer. We're a premium prestige or platinum prestige dealer. That makes us a top 3 percentile Kia dealer in the world. We think you'll notice a difference when you come shop with us. So if you're watching this video and you're in our area, please swing by. And there you go, everybody, the 2020 Kia Telluride EX.